Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marty here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to outsource and build your team of ghostwriters, editors, and graphic designers. I am currently on www.upwork.com, and I am on my personal assistance account right now. So if you see Kylie Parker here, it's just my personal assistance, and I am about to show you how to create job posts just like these. So let's get started. The very first thing you want to do is hit this right here, this green button where it says post a job. Go ahead and click that. And it will take you to a page where it says getting started. What would you like to do? So there are two options here. You can do short-term work or you can do long-term work. I always do dedicated long-term work. And the whole reason is I want to build a team that it just stays with me for the long term. So they keep growing, they keep developing, they start to understand the type of content that I want, and it gets to the point where it's pretty much they know what you want and they just work. You don't have to keep telling them to do this and do that. Opposed to if you just want short term work, you have to keep going back to the hiring process and stuff like that. Um, Another thing to mention is dedicated long-term work also gives that feeling of job security, because when we look for a job, we want something for the long term, most likely, just to have, like, that job security. I'm actually going to reuse a job post so you guys can see one of my favorite posts that I put. So let's do this one. All right. So after you hit, dedicated long-term work, we're going to go to the steps. There's 8 steps that we have to fill out whenever it comes to posting a job. So the very first step is your title. So right here, I have seeking fantasy ghostwriter for long-term projects, short stories. So what you would like to do is put, what you're looking for. Obviously, you're looking for a ghostwriter, but what kind of ghostwriter? Is it a fantasy ghostwriter? Is it a romance ghostwriter, mystery, children book ghostwriter? Put your genre in here, but you're looking for that ghostwriter. And I always put long-term projects because I want them to know this is long-term work. And for people that like job security, this will look very appealing for them. And I'm also pretty straightforward in this one. I put short stories in parentheses because I am getting short story created. So they're going to know as soon as they see the title, I'm like, it's a fantasy ghostwriter that he's looking for, and it's a long-term work, and it's for short stories. And then right here where it says job category, I always put ghostwriting. You can go ahead and check that. And before we move forward, I want to tell you guys, don't copy this word for word. Just tweak this up a little bit, because if you copy it word for word, it could cause your account getting banned, and you don't want to do that. So just tweak it up a little bit. And again, hit ghostwriter. And I'm going to click next. So the next step is the description. So right here I am looking for a high quality fantasy ghostwriter to write short stories. I give space to the writer because I don't want to rush / interfere with the writer's imagination / creativity. Now the reason I put this, I say what I'm looking for, just like the title, and then I also put I give space for the ghostwriters because I don't want to interfere with their creativity and their imagination. This is something, it's just me personally. I always like giving space. I don't like to rush because I feel if I rush the ghostwriter, they're going to give me something that isn't as quality as it could be because they were rushing. So I always put that there like, hey man, I don't want you to rush. I just want you to give me something quality and just do a good job. I would like the writer to have correct punctuation / grammar, and willing to have a long-term business relationship. So just setting the foundation. I want you to have good grammar, and I'm looking to have something for long term. And this right here, I always put $100. I was just testing this out, but this is what I always put. I am currently looking to pay $100 per 10K words. So you guys should definitely put that. I actually put this on every job post, even if you're not even doing short stories. If you're doing novels, I still put this same thing every single time. And once again, guys, just make sure you tweak this. You don't copy it word for word. Just tweak it up a little bit. And the reason I make it so simple because um, I don't want to scare people away. And whenever I do find a potential hire, I then go into more details, and I'll show you that too whenever we go into that part. All right. So for details, I am looking for an ongoing project for long-term work. I always put a screening question. Right here, I have type jerk chicken in your cover letter. And you can put anything here. Type I am greatness. Type, um, I can show you some examples that I put. Let's scroll down. So I have type good vibes in your cover letter. I am greatness. Jerk chicken. Smoothie king. Maybe I ask, what's your favorite food? And the reason I do this is because it just shows me that you read my job post. That's it. I do not respond or answer to anybody that does not put this in their job post, because it just shows me you just went and applied and pretty much ignored all my information. And I don't want that. I need someone that's going to follow instructions and really do this right. So they have to put, for this job post, they have to put jerk chicken in their cover letter if they're going to even get a reply back from me. And just make sure this is checked right here. Yes, require a cover letter. Make sure this is checked. I'm going to hit next. Now we have keywords. So you could definitely copy these keywords. The only thing you probably wouldn't copy would be, fantasy right here. So you're just pretty much just putting keywords that will help freelancers find you, like their skills and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to add creative writing. Actually, it's here. Fiction writing, writing, book writing. Let's see what else we got here. Ebook writing, ebook content. Maybe I can put short stories. Let's see if that one pops up. Ah, it does. Short stories. So pretty much just put what's related to your content. And for example, you see right here, if I'm writing romance, I'm going to put romance writing in this job post. As for this one, it says fantasy. So this is for fantasy writing. So if you're in mystery, children books, and stuff like that, just put your genre in here also. And if it's nonfiction, of course, make sure you put nonfiction. I'll check ghostwriter too. And definitely English. So you pretty much just go through here and just put all the tags that you can. It'll just help freelancers identify you. So next we have what level. I always put, well, I kind of jump between all of these, honestly. For this one, I always test them out and just to see what I get. Most of the time I'm putting expert, but I'm still going to pay $100 for 10K words no matter what. You can put intermediate or you can put entry level. Sometimes people underestimate their skills and they just go for entry level, but it's really just going to come down. I don't pay too much attention to this. I just pick one and I just keep it moving. I always hit worldwide. Now Upwork gets to the point where if you just kind of hit US, sometimes they send you a message that you're discriminating other countries and stuff like that. I don't even understand why they have that option to send that message out. But I always just hit worldwide. I don't care where they are in the world. What matters most is the kind of content that they give for me. So I always just hit worldwide. Who can see your job posts? I always hit anyone. So this could be anyone on Google could just find the job post. So it's not just Upwork, it's everywhere. So anyone can find the job post. I always put more than one freelancer just to put it, and I always just throw 3 right here. There's literally no reason why I always do this. It's just to do it. That's it. So if you just want to put one, you can put one, and just that will go away. But I always just put 3 there. I skip this. I don't have anyone to invite. I want people to apply. This is optional. I actually don't put anything here. I just hit next. Now for the budget. I never pay by the hour. I just never do. I always pay by a fixed price. and I always put 100 here. I was just testing that 160 out, but I always put 100 because this is just what I want to pay. So $100. Now this is just to review your job post. If you see anything out of place or if you want to change anything, you can just hit these little, this little like pen right here. So everything looks pretty good. Expert level. Okay, perfect, perfect. And then you can just hit post job. All right, so now since we have our job post done, it just says congratulations. And the very first thing that's going to show you is that you can invite freelancers to apply for your job post. Now, before the rules was you can only invite 3 per job post, but it looks like they changed that now. Over here, you have a certain amount of invites. Now it's going to be more than 10 because I tried it out before, but you can see here if you just invite someone, that number is just going to keep going down. See 9, and if you click that, if you want unlimited invites, you have to pay. Let's say upgrade your job post for a one-time fee of $29.99. So you would have to pay that every single time you want to um, upgrade your job post to get unlimited invites. Personally, I don't pay none of this stuff. I don't even really do the invites. I just wait for people to apply for my job. But if for some reason you want to check it out and do invites, just know that you have a certain amount of them and you would eventually have to pay to get more. All right, so now we're going to go back to the home for the back office. And here's the job post that we created. And you will see the proposals right here. So you can see right here, like 15 people applied for this job. And then you will see how many people like you message. Like here, I messaged one person out of 14, one person out of 26, and then how many people that you hired from the job post. And I'm still, looking at people's profiles and stuff right now, so I didn't hire anybody for these. So now I'm going to teach you how to make a job post for an editor. But check this out. We already got someone that applied already. So go ahead and hit post a job, just like we did with the ghostwriter. Give that time to load. All right, and it goes back to getting started. And of course, we want dedicated long-term work again, just because we do that for everybody. We want a long-term team. And I am going to reuse a post. Let's see. So whenever you make a post, you can just reuse it to make things easier. As you can see, I got a bunch of them. So I'm looking for an editor. Looking for an editor to edit romance books. Let's do this one. All right, so the very first step is the title. I put looking for an editor to edit romance books. So you can put looking for an editor for mystery thriller, children books, sci-fi romance, fantasy, anything like that. And I also put long-term position here once again. Where it says job category, I put editing and proofreading. And hit next. For the job description, let me just add something on this one. All right, here we go. And there's one thing I don't want them to do is format. So let me just remove this one real quick. So great day. I'm looking for an editor to join my team for long-term work. All right. I don't know why I didn't. Books will be sent in 10K words each and the romance genre. So I'm just making it clear that, it's romance books. I should do, for this, since it's my stuff, I'm going to put the genre is hot, steamy romance. Because some editors might not be comfortable doing hot, steamy romance. and then I put everything what I'm looking for. I spell grammar, punctuation, spelling, and the list just keeps going on. So you can definitely copy this, or if you want to put something else. Wait, there's one thing I'm going to add to this. Want something that's super important. I don't think it's in here. Pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Siri. Siri just comes up out of nowhere. Oh gosh. All right. And line editing. Line editing is super important. So this is the one thing that you just want your editor to do is line editing. So you can just go ahead and just copy this thing. You can copy this word for word, but make sure you just change this stuff up a little bit. But here is the description, looking good. All right. So now we're going to have ongoing work. Once again, we have screening question. Type your chicken in your cover letter. Yes, require a cover letter. Hit next. And then this is where you would put your tags. So I'm going to put grammar, punctuation, spelling, errors. Yeah, I'll do track changes, markup, proofreading marks. What else we got? I'll hit proofreading, English, copywriting, grammar. Okay. I'll check that one. And this looks pretty good. I'm actually going to put creative writing just in case they have to rewrite something and, they can rewrite it. But this looks good. You put the tags in there so they see the skills that's needed for the job post to apply more visibility to your job post. And once again, you can pick any single one. I'm just going to put intermediate for this. It's going to be worldwide because we want people all around the world to apply for the job. And next, anyone can see the job post. And once again, I'm going
Just a
to
sec.
put, oh my gosh, Steve. And then I'm going to put more than one freelancer. And I always just put 3 there. Talent, I just get that. I always pay a fixed price. And for whenever it comes to editing, I always pay $50 per 10K words. But you can always just put 100 there. So just to make it look a little better. But I always pay $50 per 10K words, and that's what I tell them. So you can put 100 there, you can put 50 there. At the end of the day, you're going to be talking to them and negotiating the price and stuff like that. So everything looks good. And then I'm going to post now. All right. And once again, it's going to take you to the invite freelancers. Not going to invite anybody. And you can see right here, it just resets. So every single job post, it looks like you get 15 invites, which isn't bad, which isn't bad at all. But I'm not going to invite anybody. I'm just going to go back to the jobs. All right. And you can see right here and check out the most previous job post. We had 2 people already apply for the job. And now what we're going to do is make one more job post for the graphic designer. So let's go to post a job once again. Wait for that to load. I don't know if my internet's just slowing down right now. Dedicated long-term work. And of course, I'm going to reuse a job post. Let's see. Here's a graphic designer for romance ebooks. The very first step is always the title. All right, seeking graphic designer for romance ebooks long term. And then down here in the job category, I will put graphic designs. Hit next. Step 2 is the description. I have here, I am looking for a graphic designer to create high quality romance ebook covers. I will provide examples of what I'm looking for. I am very laid back and I do not like to rush. Smiley face. So you can see my stuff is just, my descriptions are really simple. They're just straight to the point. I don't like to spend a lot of time on them. I just like to get it out there. And whenever I go through job posts, I then find potential hires, and then I will go in more details. Like I would say, like what I'm looking to pay. Like I try to pay like around $50 to $80 for my book covers, only for quality covers. Now you can find stuff cheaper on like Fiverr or maybe designers on here, but always remember that your book cover just needs to be quality. It needs to be, high quality and stuff like that, because that is the very first impression that readers will see. They will judge you by your book cover. You could have the best content in the world, and if your book cover sucks, most likely they're not going to buy. All right, so let's hit next. This is ongoing work. And of course, I have my screening questions once again. Type your chicken in your cover letter. Yes, require a cover letter. Hit next. And then we have romance, ebook, graphic design, and Photoshop. And I'll just put more in here just to throw it in there. Cover art, illustrations. Actually, I probably, why not? What the heck? Contemporary, I'll put that in there since that matches with romance. And that looks pretty good. Once again, I just click anything, so I'll probably just do entry level for this one. Worldwide. Next. Anyone can see this job post even on Google. More than one. I'm gonna hire 3 people. Remember, I just put that just to put it. You can just put 1. You can put any number. You can put. All right. You can't put that much. You can put 99. Talent. I just skip over that. I always pay a fixed price, and I always just put $100 here. And once again, I'm trying to negotiate $50 to $80. That's what I'm comfortable paying. And this is just a preview your job post. Everything looks good. Let's post now. Invite freelancers. And let's just say I wanted to invite freelancers. I'm just gonna, let's just invite some people for this one. Why not? This is kind of cool. Oh. So I invited a couple freelancers. I never usually invite freelancers, but hey, if you see something you like and someone that looks pretty good for the job, you can go ahead and invite them. All right, let's go back to jobs. And boom, there we have it. And check it out. We got 3 people already applied for the editing position for romance book, and we got 2 people that applied for the ghostwriter position. Now, I always give this at least 3 days to a week before I really start going through the portfolios and checking people out. I'm just trying to give time to for people to apply for the position. Okay, so the next thing we're going to start doing is looking for potential hires. So I'm waiting for more people to apply for these positions, but we can check them out right now. Let's see who applied for the editing position. Actually, there's 4 people. They're decent so far. Not too bad. Let's check out the fantasy ghostwriting position. Like someone just applied for it when we clicked it. So two people. Uh, doesn't look all that to me. And then I have created a job post about like what is it 6 days ago right here, seeking a romance ghostwriter for long-term project. So the very first thing I look at whenever it comes to the people that applied for the job is the job success. So the very first people, like I like how they both have a higher job success percent. Like this one has 7%. So honestly, I'm just gonna get this guy out of here. And a lot of people don't have anything. Like this guy has 25. Like I don't want to hire someone with just 25 job success percent. Let's see where this takes us. See where this goes. So if you just click that, it will just pretty much tells you all feedback, long-term relationship, repeated contacts, contracts, and this is pretty what determines the score. So I'm always looking for someone that has a higher percent. All right. So I definitely don't want this guy. Let's load more. So there's only a few people that actually have like, a job success percent. Now I'm not saying these other people aren't good. It's just, the very first people that I'm going to look for, it's just that has a good job success percent. So let's check this guy out. Well, this guy has 100. I'm looking at his stuff, but it looked kind of different. Let's check her out. Cause she earned 40,000, $100, 86%. Oh, what I like about this right here, it says match because they worked on 23 jobs that's similar to this one. Whenever you see the check right here, that means they've been verified, they uploaded their ID, so it's actually a real person. 86% job success. I like that. I wish it was higher, but this still is good. Let's load more. What is she saying? She's been doing poetry, short stories, and fiction for almost 20 years now. I like that, having experience. I currently write freelance novels, especially romance and ebooks. I like that. And she's a teach. She teach part time public speaking and English. That's also a big plus. So she's a teacher, and she's been ghostwriting and a freelancer editor for almost 7 years now. So I'm confident that her writing is probably pretty good. Especially she already made over $40,000 and 129 jobs. This stuff I just skip it. This is some new stuff that they're trying out. You can just start a quick offer. On the right here, I don't really care about availability too much, but I do care about um, the language. I always look for a native. Native English is what you should be hiring. That's the one. I do not hire anyone that doesn't have native English because that's just what our audience is used to. Native, like that, more like an American. Oh, whoops. Go back to her profile. All right. And then we just scroll down, check out the cover letter. So first she said done. So you can see right here, jerk chicken. So if she didn't write jerk chicken in her cover letter, obviously, excuse me, I would have not responded to her at all. But she did. So hey, I would love to consider your position. Ever since I was young, I had a passion for writing. Even published my first book through contests at the age of 13. I have worked with authors, blogs, news company, internet marketing companies, and publishers. Skipping. So she looked, experienced. And then she leaves something in her portfolio. Let's open this up and check it out. Let's Let's see what we can get here. Here we go. This is her portfolio. To Love a Demon. So I'm definitely not going to read all this, but this is something you would just go through and you would check out, her writing style. Did the story capture you? Did did you enjoy it? Did you want to read more? So she has a lot here, pretty much a whole story. What I like to do is just send this over to my editor, and then my editor will tell me if this is good writing or not. Because honestly, I'm a very lazy person, and I would rather outsource it. I just don't see myself reading all this, so I just pass it over to my editor. That's something that you can do. You can hire an editor to help you through the hiring process, like this right here. If you don't want to read it, if you want someone just to tell you, does it flow? Is it good writing or not? You can hire an editor for that. If you're going to read it yourself, I highly recommend you go to your market and read a book. Like, for example, if you were in romance, you should go to romance and find the bestseller that you're modeling, buy their book and read it, just so you can understand like the flow, the voice of the story and everything. Like, like the theme and how like the characters, how it flowed, and then that helps you get a vision for this content. So if you want to read it, you would have that vision of what you're looking for, so you're just not going off of anything. So let's go ahead and close that out, and then I scroll down here and I check out the work history and the feedback. So I see right here, science fiction romance writer. So she made a lot of money from this. This is really good to see because this just shows that she's been working since 2017, which is one person. So she does long term work for sure. I really like that, and that's what I'm looking for. And this person obviously loves her work. This is a really good one right here. This is actually, reverse Harlem. That fits in with hot steamy romance in a way, but this is still a little different. This is really good price right here. Ghostwriter for sweet steamy short romance book. This is actually what I'm applying this job for. So she did a really well. This is not bad, but you can see right here 5 stars. I like that. Looking for experienced romance writer, long term work. Looks like someone just took my freaking job post right there. But this looks really good. This person looks really nice. You can see like a bunch of 5 stars, and people are paying uh good money for her too. See her skills down here. I don't really care about employment history or education. I just care about if they actually can produce high quality content. So this is definitely a potential hire. This is someone I would definitely message. I will contact her. And honestly, just from the look right here, just the fact that she has a 23, she looks like the best person on this list right now. So you can see like one person out of, I don't know how many people on this list, like 13 or something, 14. Let's check this lady out real quick. So the very first thing I check out, she's verified, so she's a real person. 82% job success, that's not bad. Native English, awesome. Just skipping through this, I have experience with dark romance, mafia, young adult. Just a bunch of stuff. This is really good. This is really good right here. On the other hand, I do product. I don't really care about that. I care about this because this fits in with my genre. This looks really good. So she hasn't made a lot of money. She has some portfolio, so you can definitely check her out. So she already written 6 books of her own under the romance genre, and she's been writing for 5 years with experience. And of course, she does a bunch of different genres, which is, I like that. Let's check out reviews. We got a 5 star for romance ghostwriting. I like that. This looks good. And that's not relevant. So it's just these two. So this is actually someone else I would definitely I'll check out. You can see right here, steamy romance, short romance. So yeah, this is actually another good person. So I would definitely check her out too. These are both potential hires. And let's just see if we have a bad example. Let's look at this guy. Let me just not um, this guy right here. So he's not verified. He doesn't have a job success percent. He doesn't have native English or anything on here. He doesn't really give me much to work with. He doesn't have a description. He gives great portfolios. He hasn't made any money. No reviews or anything. So this is someone I kind of just won't message. So he is verified, but he doesn't have a job success percent. He does have a job success percent. It's actually 25. Which I don't like. I don't like that, but he made some money. He's native. He does native English. He did type jerk chicken. My career has been romance ghostwriter for the last decade. Freelancers seem to be overwhelmed with a lot of projects. Did not give enough time and attention to my project and never completed the first milestone. I don't like that. See, this is why I arched him. But it's cool, like what people are saying that he finished was really good. Like he got something right here. Look at this. Someone spent 4,500 on him writing novels. I wonder who's publishing those. So at the end of the day, this guy does look like a quality person. He could be a potential hire, but I really don't like the fact that he might not finish the work. So what I am going to do, I am going to unarch this guy because he could be a potential hire, and that's something we would just have to talk about, discuss with him and stuff like that. So that's the kind of things that I look for whenever it comes to potential hires and stuff like that. So check it out. We got two people that just applied for the graphic designer position. We got 8 people that just did the editing, and not that much love going to the ghostwriting. So this one's going to take a lot longer. So now what we're going to do is check out how I message some people, like what I say to them. So you've seen the description, they're kind of short, they're simple, to the point, and they see like a potential hire there. Um, Actually, let's go to Ryan here. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the top so you guys can see how I broke the ice. So Ryan was different because he actually asked me questions. There's not many times that, they would ask you questions. So I do have a few questions before we go further. You mentioned your pay scale and what you're doing. You're looking for short stories. What's the general length you'll be looking per book? I am looking to pay $100 per 10K words. Each book will be 10K words short stories, 5 books per series. Okay, that's the first thing that we talked about. How many stories will you be looking at per month? And then my response is, I don't like rushing the writer. I give freedom for creativity. So it would depend on how fast you can produce quality 10K word books. And the third question he asked, are these going to be more geared toward the romance readers with hints at sexual content, or are you looking for erotica write-ups as well? And my response is, I want hot, steamy romance, twist and turn to keep the readers guessing. I can provide examples of books in my dramas so you can get an idea of what I'm looking for. And that's what I do. I go send him books that he can check out, and he actually reads the book too, which is really good. And for the fourth question he asked, are there any genres that you prefer to focus on, or are there any that you don't want to go anywhere near? I usually follow the trends right now. I have billionaire romance, alpha billionaire romance, mafia romance, fake fiance romance, and single dad. And then there's some other stuff like what is it? Motorcycle romance, sports romance, medical romance. Like I get all those created, but this is just gives you a good understanding. Like we want to talk about some stuff. Like thanks for getting back back in touch with me. Everything looks good. I'm happy to take on any genres presented. I do have the most experience in billionaire and alpha billionaire from the list provided. As for time frame though, oh, for frame of reference though, my bad. So and then I sent him, examples of what I'm modeling and stuff like that. And then I asked him how long does it take for him to, create a story. And pretty much he says uh, he can do about 10 to 15K per week. So that's the main stuff that whenever you find a potential hire, you go and you talk to them. This is your spot where we will actually be discussing stuff, negotiating prices and stuff like that. So I just made it clear that I'm looking to pay $100 per 10K words. I want a 5 book series, and I want twist and turn to keep the reader guessing. And I told him my genre, and I told him I showed him what books I'm modeling, and if he's good with everything, I hire him on the spot. I get him started, and boom, there we go. Let's look for another one. So this is an editor right here. This one is a quick one. And the first question I asked, hey, are you comfortable editing alpha billionaire, bad boy, fake marriage romance? Yes, that's no problem. Is there anything that you don't do on this list? And this is the same list that I put in the job description for the editor. And she said, I do not do formatting. That's why I actually took out formatting, because I actually put our books, Josh and I books, through Vellum. So it kind of just formats it for us. So she doesn't do that, and everything's good. So you want $50 per 10K words? That is correct. Okay, I'll be in touch. Hired her. We started working. Everything's been going pretty good. All right. So now I got some outsourcing pro tips for you guys. So you can definitely take a picture of this or write it down, whatever you would like to do. The very first one is make multiple job posts. So, for example, let's say you're going for a ghostwriter. So just like we made this one job post, you want to make at least like 3 of them. And the reason because of that, let's just imagine both of these are romance. 6 days that would have passed, I probably would have had about 30 people that applied versus just 14 people that applied for this one. So the more job posts you make at one time, it increases the chance to find potential hires. So it's good just to keep making more job posts. Pro tip number 2 is the thing to look at on a job post. Now, we already went through that, but we can definitely go over it one more time. Let's go to the ghostwriter. Do it one more time. A quick preview. So we found this person that looks like a good fit. Well, first you see it right here. They earned some money. Matched because they worked on 23 similar jobs. This is really good. They have a job success percent. And you click on their profile, you're going to see, they're verified. You're going to check out their description. Native English. Make sure they put your screening letter, your screening answer, which is jerk chicken for mom. Their portfolio. And then you check out their feedback, the reviews, how much money they made. And this person is a really good example of a potential hire, of someone you should hire, or at least, interview. All right, let's go back. Notice these keep, building up in the background. It's at 8 now and 11 now. Pretty cool. All right, tip number 3, always put word count instead of pages. Now, the reason you always want to put word count instead of pages, because if someone is writing, if the ghostwriter is writing the story, this might be a better example for you. If if you guys can, you can copy this site down, or you can put how many pages is 2,000 word. If you copy and, well, if you just put that in your browser, this very first one right here is the website that I'm on. But if you scroll down, you're going to see, we always do like 10K words here, right? So 10,000 words is 20 pages, single space. But double space is 40 pages. All right, keep that in mind. Now, if you were to go ask for 25 pages right now, so 25 pages, single space is 12,500 words. Now, I have a site here, and on the site it says how many pages is 2,000 words. Now, if you were to just type this in Google, it's going to be this very first one on the top. So the word counter blog. And this is the page. Alright, so this site pretty much tells you like how many pages is this many words, or how many words is this many pages. So you can see right here, it says 10,000 words. This is what I always put, is 20 pages single space. And it's 40 pages whenever it's double space. And then we also have right here, 25 pages is, or we can just do this one right here. 20 pages is 10,000 words, just like that one on the top when it's single space, right? But then it said whenever it's double spaced, it's 5,000 words. Now, there's some ghostwriters out there that will write and double space the content. So you would think you'd be getting more bang for your buck with 10,000 words, but you're probably going to get 5,000. Not every ghostwriter does this, but there's a possibility that a ghostwriter can do that. They try to cheap you off. Not really cheap you off, but they just formatted it a different way, where you could have had more word count, but you didn't, because it was formatted with double space. So instead of 10,000 words, you could have got, if you would have just asked for 20 pages, you could have got 5,000 words instead. So if you just say pages, you might end up, like if you just want 20 pages, you might end up with just 5,000 words instead of 10,000 words. Now, if you just say word count, which isn't that equivalent to 20 pages, right? But if you double spaced it, it can go to 40 pages. And if you add, bonus pages and stuff like that, it can go up to like 56 pages. So this is just a reason why I always say word count, because I don't want a ghostwriter to give me 5,000 pages whenever I could have, not 5,000 pages, but 5,000 words whenever I could have had, 10,000 words with 40 pages instead of 20 pages with just 10,000 words or 5,000 words. So I would always recommend you always say words instead of pages whenever you're talking to ghostwriters. All right, and I have here, you can get more content this way. So tip number 4 is make them write a fresh summary. Some writers edit their portfolios. So I will show you where that is. Let's go back to this person that we were just looking at. Click this one. So their portfolios is something like this. So what some writers like to do, and this happened to me, is they would edit their portfolio. So while you check it out and you're reading it and it sounds amazing, it's not their actual like raw content. An editor went through it and polished it up, and if you see it right now, it looks perfect, but then whenever they actually turn into work, it's not the same as their portfolio because it was edited. You're going to see a lot more mistakes, and it's probably not, of course it's not going to be as good, you know as it was when you read it. So to avoid this, you always want them to write something fresh for you. Like, it's good to check that out and read through it, to see their writing style and stuff. But whenever it comes to actually giving them a task, you'd want to give them a description or something. I would recommend you do it for a book that you're modeling. Like, after you've done your market research and stuff, you have like your description and stuff of the information of what kind of book you want to make, and then you can give that to them, and you can just ask them to write like 8 to 10K words. But if you don't have something like that, you can just go find something on Amazon. So let's just say Stephen King. Check out this one. And if you do it this way, um, you won't be able to really copy it or create something off of it. But you would just take this, copy it, send it over to Upwork, paste it over there and tell them to make a story off of that. Now, if you use something like this, if you do it this way, you shouldn't, it's not going to be the same as a story,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but you shouldn't, Siri just throwing me off. You shouldn't, have it published because I should have never said her name, because you kind of copied it off of someone else. So this would be only to test the writer and not to actually publish it. So this is why it's better to, go down to the reviews and get information. Like, people are spoiling the whole story, and you can create something real quick, and then you can send it over to the ghostwriter, and they can create something fresh for you. And that way you can really judge their skills. So let's go back. All right. Also, if someone has a problem with writing a fresh summary for you to kind of like, judge their work and stuff, you can pay them something small, just so they can write it to test it. Some writers will do it for free, some won't. And if you don't want to pay them something just for that, what you can do, you can start a gig, a job, and like hire them and put probably like $100 for the first 10K words and let them write the 10K. And then at the very end, whenever they turn to work, and you can check the 10K word and see if you like it or not. If you don't like it, then you can just get your money back and cancel the job and stuff like that. But most of the people that I've hired always did this for free, because I told them, I positioned it. You just have to let me know that you're a good fit for this job. If you can show me, I will give you long term work. And that's how I positioned it. All right, number 5. So we have keep making job posts for potential hires. So this is the same as this one, right? But the difference between this one and this one is, after you found a potential hire, you hired them, that you already got them started working on projects and stuff like that. You want to keep making more job posts. You need to keep making more even after you found someone to start working for you. If one writer goes down, you would have a list you can contact. So this happened to us before. We had one writer, it was our only writer at the time, and they wrote, it was a series that we had, a 5 book series. They wrote the very first book. It was awesome. It was great. Their skills were pretty amazing. And then the second book, they never completed. They actually just disappeared on us. Like, that's it. They just disappeared, and there was nothing that we could do about that. And we had all, pretty much we had all our eggs in one basket with this one writer, and then we had to go through the whole hiring process again to look for someone. And it took a little while to find someone else, because you're gonna find out, like, the hiring process, it could be time consuming sometimes, because for me, like, I wait a whole week to just respond back to some people. So you just take that in consideration. If you're always making job posts and then still looking for potential hires that you can put to the side. So if this one writer goes down, you have 5 other writers you can contact. And then that just keeps the ball rolling. It just keeps things moving. So this is why I put here, keep making job posts for potential hires. Number 6 is contracts are generated on Upwork. So whenever you hire someone, it actually creates a contract on Upwork. So you actually own the rights whenever you pay. Now, this is awesome. But the thing about it, I would still recommend that you make them sign your own contract. And you can find these in the file section of the Facebook group, some contracts. And the reason is because, just worst case scenario, what if your account got blocked? What if you got kicked off? What if something happened with Upwork, like they went out of business or something? That means, wouldn't they have your contracts and everything already stored on there? So just to be safe, you should have your own contract signed and store that away in Dropbox or something where you have access to it, and not just rely on Upwork, because if something was to happen to them, I'm not 100% sure if you would have that contract, and you just want to have them just in case. So those are my 6 outsourcing pro tips for you. Well, that wraps up this very special training. I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this. And if you did, if you could be so kind to go to the Facebook group and just make a post about something valuable that you got out of this special training. Your feedback is super important to us, and it really helps us shape out future content. So if you can just please take the time real quick to just go into the Facebook group and just post something valuable that you got out of this very special training. And we will see you in the next one.